Yes, we do have sound. So here we are, live, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's another Sunday podcast with Fred and I. Congratulations, if you made it this far, you're on the good side of the dirt. Right, Fred?
Very much so. Getting through the holidays can be a challenge, yes.
It definitely can. And if you hear any whining in the background, it's not Fred, it's my dog over there on the side. Hey, we got some interesting news. Somebody was telling me that we just lost the channel up here.
Oh.
I guess we still are live. We have a technical difficulty, as usual. But not usual with Malcolm today. That's a new experience. What I was going to tell you was that our show today, we're going to cover things about Mount Walsh. We're going to cover things about the December 7th. So today's holiday, December 7th, the day that will live in infamy. This is the
Pearl Harbor.
The day that Pearl Harbor was bombed by the Japanese in a sneak attack. And we don't ever want to forget that. That was what started World War II for us. That's what gained us entry into World War II. So, Fred? Go, Fred.
Yeah, good morning. It's rather amazing everything we went through in World War II after December 7th. And fortunately, we were able to come up with equipment to get them to surrender. And look at what that country's become since then. It's a special day that we must never forget. They pulled a surprise on us, and there's a lot of history connected to that. Very solemn history, and our children should be taught about it also. Now, as far as today, we're in the middle of the Christmas holidays, between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And as much as you might have kind of cloudy and foggy skies in Houston, which restricts the controllers on the spacing of their inbounds and outbounds. Around the country, as much as one city might have blue skies, we have two significant weather systems coming across the country.
And does that impact us a lot?
It impacts us significantly. With those snow conditions, icing conditions, the controllers have to back up their spacing on departures and arrivals. And if your flight doesn't get off the ground when it's scheduled, or Granny getting on the airplane is moving a little slow, that schedule backs up across the country. It's a domino effect. If that plane doesn't get off on time, it doesn't get to its destination on time, there is some room for wiggle room for slack.
Well, who takes care of those delays? How do those delays get put in place?
That is pretty much the company and the controllers, the traffic management system. But
they'll put a delay program in, like out at Washington, if things get that bad, right?
Right. But our priority is what the controllers can handle. If it's not significant or it doesn't fit the airline's schedule, we're sorry. But the first priority has to be the spacing and the weather conditions that the controller can handle. There's only so many aircraft the controller can have demands.
Yeah, and what I remember is back in our day, we had the monitor up at the desk, up at the traffic management unit, and it would show the areas. Each one would have a limit on how many airplanes should be allowed in that limit. And when an area would go red, we would start taking a look, because that was like a 3 or 4 hour advance notice, and we would back that up to see how we could mitigate that, either by rerouting some aircraft around that, or did we really have to start looking at a program. And if it was affecting, at least a third of the center, and we couldn't handle it internally, we would reach out to the FAA in Washington, the traffic management unit there, and see if we get a ground delay program that would be put in effect. And then they would run the numbers and the numbers would either come back, yeah, we can give you a ground delay program, or no, it doesn't constitute a ground delay program. And if we got the no, we would still have to figure out how to handle it internally, which may be a couple of turns in somebody else's airspace and holding, or pushing it forward, and moving those aircraft further into other people's airspace. But of course, the airlines would have to know that we were giving a delay or lengthening their time that they're going to be in air, so that they can make fuel requirements. You know, these aircraft, they can't land with zero fuel. They have to have at least an hour fuel for going to an alternate airport. That's part of their FARs. So, having said that, Fred, we're talking about the delay programs that go on nationally, and how this weather impacts us. And this is one of those weeks, and next week is going to be another week, and the past week, and of course with the CR that happened, there was some more delays that were put in to keep those areas from blowing up with too much traffic because of the staffing issues. Right, Fred?
Yeah. The winter time makes separating and controlling airplanes more challenging. All these weather conditions affect it. We can go through the summer, and thunderstorms, I think, are easier to handle than these weather systems with snow. Now, we wanted to discuss this podcast by this gentleman,
Yeah.
Mr.
Matt
Walsh. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I wanted to tell you about, a friend of mine, Jack Overfield, he had emailed me a podcast that his daughter watches, Matt Walsh, and it was very concerning after I watched it. Matt was talking about the air traffic controllers that were putting messages out on Reddit. Now, I looked on Reddit to find these messages that are in question, and I did not find them, so I must be looking in the wrong spot. I tried to read through every headline, every banner, and I was up till about 2 o'clock in the morning trying to find these messages. That's why I looked a little tired. And I didn't find any. All I could find were, great remarks by an excellent group of controllers. So before I tell you anything about what Matt said, these are under question. And even if there were names attached to it, nobody has, as far as I know, looked in to verify if these were actually air traffic controllers that left these messages, or if they were people with some kind of derangement syndrome that wanted to camp onto the air traffic controller shortage and about them being in the news a lot. So, having said that, I'm going to play a little bit of Matt Walsh so that you can hear what exactly he's been talking about. So let's go to that.
But also, please understand, he's got no experience in separating airplanes.
Yeah. Can you bring that up?
It's on your YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. So I'll just go to Fred for a minute. And Fred, tell him a little bit more about this Matt Walsh thing, because you did hear him talking.
I did listen to Mr. Walsh's podcast. I take a really large dispute on some of the things he said, and he should be careful about those statements. I have never had a controller that thought of being
Hi, Jack. Can you hear me?
separating, having problems separating Air Force One or being against
Affirmative.
that aircraft getting priority. I don't care if he's Democratic or Republican. We very much give priority to our special president and the other people from Washington.
Hey, you know what? I have Jack Overfield that just came online here, and if Jack would unmute his mic, we'll be able to let him speak about this, because I did mention his name, and Jack was gracious enough now to join us. He's the guy that sent me the information. Could you bring Jack up on here, or do I have to slide that over to this area?
He's up there. Just take down the browser.
Take down the browser. I don't have the browser up. Hold on a minute, Jack. We're going to get you up here.
Okay.
Is it over here? Ah, you see, it's in extended mode. Okay. There you go, Jack. Can you hear us?
I hear you. How me?
Can you hold on? We got to put you out the TV here a minute. Hold on, Jack.
How do you hear me now? Okay, good deal. How do you hear me now, Rob? Okay. Somebody had sent me that link, and I listened to the audio a couple of days ago, and then this morning I went to YouTube and actually saw the video where Matt Walsh is talking, and I can actually see him, and he brings up some of the Reddit posts when he's talking about them. I sent Matt Walsh a message to call me when I first first heard the audio version, because that was my first question. How do you know these people are really FAA air traffic controllers? And in watching the video version, and it's about 27 minutes long, and you can find that on YouTube, where he just strictly talks about the air traffic control subject. He mentions things like, well, people would have to find out for sure and have to find the IP addresses and see if they are actually attached to air traffic controllers in the FAA. So that was my question to him, and he hasn't responded to me at this point. I don't know that he will, but hey, how do you know those are really FAA air traffic controllers? And oh, sure, sure. And it appears to me that he has an audience and probably contacts that he knows how to look into that and see if they are real. And heck, you would think he would have done it before broadcasting something like that. But at any rate, that was my biggest question. And he did say something about maybe the Secret Service should send an agent to an air traffic control facility where Air Force One is flying through the airspace. And my first thought was, and it's been 20 years ago since I retired, of course, at FAA air traffic control facilities, when Air Force One is flying through the airspace, you not only have the controls, but you have a supervisor going from sector to sector and observing and making sure that everything's taken care of appropriately.
We have supervisors that take care of that action, and we're mandated by the FAA to follow, as a supervisor, to go down and stand behind each sector and make sure Air Force One transitions from that sector to another sector, make the handoff smoothly. There's no issues with traffic and air traffic control instructions. I mean, he gets, or she gets, should that ever happen, handled with I would call kid gloves, right? I mean,
It gets documented in the log also.
Sure.
yeah, that's right, and we do document it in our log. I mean,
That's correct. Thanks for
it's
bringing
not
that
like
up.
a regular airplane flying through the specialty. The other
Right.
things were, some of the remarks that I heard from these controllers were, hey, have them give a couple of spins in the holding pattern or keep them on the ground for a couple of hours. I cannot imagine that happening. So if I was out there and I was with the member of the Secret Service, FBI, or any of that, I would definitely go on Reddit and take a look at where we are as far as those comments are concerned, and follow up to make sure those IP addresses are really attached to air traffic controllers, and then those controllers would need to be questioned. Now, when I did look online yesterday, I did see some remarks were removed. I saw a lot of disparaging comments about NATCA and their president, which, I mean, there's no problem with airing their grievances on that. But these other ones, those are very concerning. But like I said, I did not see those comments. So I believe in what I see, not in what I hear. And like a rumor, you got to attack it and address it, find the source, and then when you find the source, find out if it's true or not, and then if it's not true, that person should be held accountable for the statements that they make.
Exactly, Rob. And that was the first time I'd ever listened to a Matt Walsh podcast, and like I said, the first time was strictly audio, and then I did watch the YouTube version of it, 27 minutes long, and he does put up slides that come from Reddit and shows the person's ID on Reddit and what they said. But again, he said, I mean, I would ask the question, how do you know that's really an FAA air traffic controller?
We could be heard on the set also, but you're exactly right. It really has to be followed up that if it was or was not an air traffic controller. Because for me, I know that in my career in the FAA, nothing but great people to work with. I mean, we clown around a lot with each other. Nothing disparate or I mean, if we make remarks, it's between each other, and it's nothing that's ridiculous to even come out of somebody's mouth. We would never say. It's like saying bomb in the middle of the TSA line. I mean, nobody would do something that stupid.
Right.
And it shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you even think about that? I've had nothing but respect for the FAA, and I love my career, and I always provided the safest expeditious flow of air traffic. Safety was always number one. And,
Exactly.
always a high
And
degree
you
of
can,
respect for my fellow controllers out there. So,
and you can still hear me, Rob, is that correct?
Jack, we shouldn't say hi, Jack. People,
Yeah.
that'll make people scatter.
Can you still hear me?
Has a pretty unique name in the industry, Jack. And when he would walk by the sector, he would say, "Hey, hi, Jack, how you doing?" And when everybody turned around saying, "Hey, somebody out there squawking the hijack code."
Yeah. Can you hear me still, Rob? Yeah, that's true. Fred brought up something I was fixing to say. Oh, yeah, I got the hijack stuff a lot. Yeah, that's one thing you don't say to me in a terminal building is hijack or anywhere else, really. But anyway, Matt Walsh talked about, near the end, he talked about the FAA needs to privatize. And you know how we've heard about that over the decades, even since we've left the FAA and before we left the FAA. So, Matt, I don't know what Matt's, I don't know what his overall look is at the air traffic control system, but he was sure not, being positive about what he's seen on Reddit. And like I said, hey, Matt, how do you know that's really air traffic controllers from the FAA?
Like I said, we're switching back and forth on microphones. I was trying to figure out exactly how to get that to work. Maybe it was the mic input or not. But Jack, thank you for coming on the show. Do you have anything else that you want to add? Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as maybe December 7th or, because I am going to play a little bit of that Matt Walsh video on here so people can see exactly what we're talking about. But before I do that, I'm going to come out of this Zoom setup meeting and then play that. So is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Go back to Jack.
No, sir. No, sir, that's good. I'm going to switch and watch the rest of the program. I'm going to switch and watch the program. All right? Yeah.
Well,
okay, hey, yeah.
On, Jack. It was good talking with you, and we'll be seeing you around soon. And how did the show go yesterday with your granddaughter? Did you enjoy it?
Oh my goodness, it was pretty amazing. I'll tell you more about it later. Yeah, they're really something else down there in that program they do in Sugar Land. Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk back at you later, Jack. Have a good weekend.
All right, adios.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Go. The ghost is moving the camera around again. All right. So let me switch on over to the Matt Walsh video as soon as I can get it. If you want to take over for a little bit.
Talking about different people in the system that armchair quarterback us, I will have to say I don't care what level you're at. Until you put a headset on and work those airplanes, please be very cautious about the things you say, because we know what we're hearing and doing when we put a headset on. I've got the list of war stories, and I'm sure a lot of them have been out on this podcast, but believe me, I have a lot more. Connection to the holidays, connected to weather systems, connected to pilots that love us and pilots that hate us. So if anybody has any questions or comments about that, please let us know, and I can answer those questions. Ready now?
Oh, not yet, Fred, but you can. Is anybody out there that does want to talk about their information that we just discussed? Is anybody out there that wants to discuss it? If not, I'll go ahead and play the Matt Walsh video. And everybody should be able to see it. Can you see it on screen there?
No.
Peggy should be.
It's on this right now.
Oh, okay.
Can you see if Peggy's on here?
Peggy, are you on? Huh, why can't you see this? That doesn't make any sense.
Is she responding?
I don't see, we're waiting. No, she's not.
Okay.
So, what else you got, Fred? Why don't you hawk some of our stuff here? You could be our hawkster today.
For the holidays, please know that we have various products that can make nice little Hanukkah and Christmas presents. We have our name tags, designed by
You're gonna have
Peggy
to reboot
and
this.
created by Rob. And then we have our coasters, behind the scope coasters that are very nice to put on the table so you don't get coffee on the table, you know, the way our wives get upset about that. And then, of course, we have our wonderful behind the scope coffee cups. I'm gonna get over there, behind the scope coffee cups. And we have the ability, if you like, to personalize them with your name or any special dates from a time you might have been involved with traveling or air traffic. And then, but last but not least, our booklets, behind the scopes, everything you wanted to know about air traffic control, but were afraid to ask. This book will give you the answer on it, and just let us know. We can send you one of these at a minimal price of $6. They make interesting Christmas presents for anybody you don't know what to get, a little gift on, they'd appreciate it. Do we have any other questions? Rob?
No, we don't have any other
Okay,
questions.
we're going to let Mr. Walsh.
No, we don't have, well, I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then we'll see if...
Happening far too often, especially close to the ground, to come to any other conclusion. And many of these mistakes were the result of failures by air traffic control and the FAA, which openly began discriminating against qualified white applicants during the Obama years. So when 2025 began with a low-altitude mid-air collision at the Washington's Reagan Airport, it wasn't exactly a surprising development, if you've been paying attention. The signs were all there. Everyone who was paying attention knew that a disaster like this would happen, and then it did. Now, one of the many lessons that we should draw from that mid-air collision is that when a pending catastrophe seems obvious to you, even if you're not an expert in the field, you should draw attention to it. There's a very good chance that you'll be right and the experts are wrong, as they so often are, particularly if those experts are politically motivated, which almost all of them are. When I did my monologues on the air traffic control system a couple of years ago, plenty of leftists mocked me for doing so. They said that I had no idea what I was talking about. I'm not an expert. And, well, we see how that turned out. So today we're going to talk at length about a new threat that poses a significant danger to every American who travels on a plane in this country, up to and including the President of the United States. This is a threat that, as far as I can tell, no mainstream news outlet or commentator has mentioned, but it is urgent, and federal action should be taken immediately. I'm talking about the very uncomfortable but also very apparent fact that there are quite a few unhinged leftist air traffic controllers in the country, many of whom have spent the last year or so posting on social media about their plans to sabotage the aviation industry and the United States at large. Several of these individuals are deranged, entitled, and by their own admission, dangerous, and they need to be dealt with. Before we get into specific examples, I want to briefly go back to the mid-air collision over the Potomac in January. There are many factors that contributed to this disaster, including poor flying by the Black Hawk pilot. We know that. But if you ask the White House, and if you listen to the audio transcripts between air traffic control and the two aircraft involved in the incident, it's clear that air traffic control was not entirely blameless. This is the first significant interaction between the controller and the military helicopter that would later crash into the passenger plane. If you haven't heard this, or even if you have, listen again. Here it is.
Yeah, 79, contact don't work today. Okay. American 3130 for the final. Hello, American 3130. At 25, traffic just off the Wood Bridge is here today at 1,200 feet, circle on way 33. That's traffic special separation. Separation.
This is a useful instruction. The controller is telling the pilot of the Black Hawk that a CRJ aircraft, the passenger plane, is just south of the Woodrow Bridge. And he gives its current altitude and some information about its approach. And the Black Hawk pilot acknowledges the information, saying they'll steer clear of the CRJ. But the controller doesn't seem to notice that the Black Hawk, over the next 30 seconds, does not, in fact, steer clear of the airliner. Instead, the two aircraft are on a collision course. It's not until an automated alarm sounds in the control tower, warning of an imminent collision, that the controller notices the issue. So listen to what he says at that very moment. Listen.
Pass 25, get the CRJ in flight. Pass 25, pass behind the CRJ. Let's go to the aircraft in flight, pressure separation. Do separation. American 4782 by Baton now for an individual. American 472 Washington, 1 solid, 32017. All right, this is Win. Did you see that?
Now, this time around, at a critical moment, the controller does not tell the Black Hawk helicopter where the CRJ is or what its altitude is. He doesn't say, avoid the CRJ at 10 o'clock at your same altitude, or anything like that, something specific like that. Instead, he simply tells the Black Hawk pilot to avoid the CRJ. And it appears that in response to that vague instruction, the Black Hawk pilots scanned the sky for a CRJ and identified the wrong CRJ in this very crowded airspace. So, they were avoiding the wrong plane. And this was obviously a critical mistake, one that the controller shares responsibility for. Although, to be clear, a small portion of the ATC's command wasn't audible in the Black Hawk because the Black Hawk keyed their radio at the same time. So, as we said, a whole combination of factors.
Well, that's enough of that. So as you can see, there's a lot of information out there that's already been dealt with as far as the NTSB is concerned, and the FAA has taken action on all of the items that he spoke of. My only concern is the comments that have been placed on Reddit, and I would like to know if those are real air traffic controllers that are saying have the pilot take one for the team when they're flying Air Force One, or actually talking about getting rid of the president. Now, if the FBI is out there listening, I sure hope that you follow up on those comments, because we take these things seriously. I take it seriously, I know Fred does, and now that we know about it, you know about it. So it's not like you haven't been told. And I guess maybe I'll even make a phone call to the FBI to make sure that they know that those comments are being posted on the internet. Those are very unsettling comments, okay? But now back to our podcast, and the holiday season is upon us, so I'm thinking that for next week and the week after, we were going to hold off on the podcast, or actually Christmas weekend and New Year's weekend. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll just let it replay, right?
Yeah, it's a hectic time of year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We can start the first of the year with our new episodes and new experiences.
Really? So we're 233,000 subscribers out there, and that's all thanks to you. So continue to keep watching, and please post on our post. We'd like to hear from you. There's a section out there called Community on YouTube. Send us a little information of things that you might want to hear. And like Fred was talking about earlier, you can get these really beefy looking t-shirts online. They'll make you look really cut and buff. They do a great job on Fred, don't they?
Yeah, it's really amazing how it can distort the sleek physique.
Yeah, sleek, that's cutting it a little thin there. But we will continue to do our podcast at next year, so we look forward to hearing from you. We wish you the best over the holiday season, and we hope that next year is fruitful and fun, and remember to embrace your family, because you only have one of them. Enjoy your friends, love your family, and make sure you get to learn how to love everybody out there despite their difference of opinion. That's just their opinion, not their personalities, okay? People need to be different. So learn to love people.
Don't forget to order our
Merch.
Behind the Scopes merchandise.
Really, it's really good stuff. It could make a good Christmas present. Imagine one of those coffee cups with everybody's name on the back of it, your center, your work experience, wives, husbands, anybody that knows a controller that might want to order one, please get online and go to our website. You could have all of this great information, put it up in front of Fred's face, nice and tight.
Kind of lengthy, but I did spend a lot of time in the air traffic system, so I'm proud of the different jobs that I had in it.
Yeah, we'll reverse the letters so that it's black and on white, and you'll be able to read these with a better font, and it'll be on the back of the cup that has the beautiful logo that Fred's wife Peggy designed. So, having said all that, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or whatever makes you happy. We love you all. Take care.
Have a great holidays.